Welcome to Achievemen on the Achievement channel, Nigeria's first and only 100% motivational station, broadcasting from the School of Eloquence studio right here in Ikoyi, Lagos, Nigeria. I am your host, Victor Diele. Call me Victorious Victor. This is the show dedicated to purpose, discipline, and the journey of becoming a better man. From a young age, many men are told to man up, to suppress their emotions, ignore their pain, and carry every burden to silence. But what is the price they pay for this silence in our health, our families, our businesses? Today we want to discuss the hidden cost of man up, breaking the cycle of silent suffering. And joining me to discuss this with a wealth of experience are two distinguished leaders, Mr. Chris Ogbaisi, an accomplished entrepreneur and former insurance executive with deep expertise in risk management and business advisory. And joining him is Mr. Ayodeji Peter Falope, an award-winning SMINAN certified business development service provider with over 17 years of cognate experience. He's a mentor at the LBS, Lagos Business School, the EDC BDSP of the Year, and currently serves as the PRO of the EDC Alumni Network. Gentlemen, welcome to this very important show. Welcome. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the program. It's a fantastic opportunity for us to discuss things that really affect men. My first question today is something I've actually thought a lot about, and I would really like to bring this question to you, Ayodeji, especially considering your wealth of experience and working with a lot of men in your immediate environment. Question is, at what point does being strong begin to appear unhealthy for men? Because in our society today, most men are expected to be strong.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Most men are expected to be the provider.
Correct.
The protector.
Correct.
The Voltron of the family.
Yeah, like that. Voltron.
You know, you go to business.
Yeah.
The man is expected to be the leader.
Bottle your feelings.
Yes. You have to appear strong.
Correct.
You know, I teach leadership, and sometimes in our sessions we meet managers. And when we're telling them sometimes that as a leader, you can be vulnerable. Right?
Yes.
You can actually say to your team when they ask a question, I don't know.
Yeah.
And some people vehemently refuse. They say, no, as a leader, you have to show that you are the leader.
Yeah.
How can a leader tell his team that you don't know? No, it will undermine your leadership.
Yeah.
And I say to them, it is this same attitude that makes a lot of leaders derail.
Yeah.
So what's your take on that?
Well,
strong.
Thank you very much for the question. Deep question. For that question, it has so many layers.
Yeah.
Now, if we look at the context that we have in Nigeria,
Yes.
In Nigeria, there's the mentality where we're not encouraged to be as vulnerable as our counterparts in Europe, for example.
Yeah.
That's the society we live in.
Yes.
Where if you admit an error, you seem undermined.
Yeah.
However, in many other countries, in many other parts of the world, you admitting, a fault or a weakness is seen as a sign of strength.
Yeah.
So based on the society we're in, what is determined or what is called strength varies. Yeah. So let's bring it back home to Nigeria. The point, I believe, where strength becomes an issue is exactly what you said towards the end of your conversation, which is when we begin to pretend.
Yes.
Because again, we're humans. It's quite easy for people. You can fool some people some of the time, but you can't fool everybody all the time. It's not possible. So people begin to see through all of that. And we say to one another, oh, be real, be true to yourself. Yeah, the same people who are saying be real, be true to yourself, they're not. So that's hypocrisy. So the challenge is the hypocrisy about our hypocrisy is a big issue. So if we're going to be honest, first, we all make mistakes. True. That is it. So if you tell someone, hey, look, we all make mistakes. Yes, okay, great. But what mistake did you make?
Exactly.
And then they can't tell you what that is. Yes. Look, I've made a lot of mistakes. And I have no problem making mistakes. But I have a problem when I can't learn from those mistakes. True. In fact, I'm happy to make mistakes so that I can get them out of the way. Yeah. So the point when it becomes really bad and toxic is when we begin to pretend that we're strong when we are not. And at that point, we're pretty much just killing ourselves. I'm happy to be vulnerable all the time. Like I mentioned just before the show, there are a couple of disorders that we deal with, within my family's hereditary. And it's normal in my family. So we flipped. I'm the only person left in Nigeria within the entire family because it's not totally accepted in Nigeria to be bipolar in Nigeria. When you mention it, like, oh, it's crazy, you should be up on. No, come on. No, it's not that. It's just a disorder like diabetes, like anything else. Yeah. So with that, for me, it's not a weakness, it's a disorder. I deal with it, I treat it, and then I move on. Yeah. But I will not pretend it doesn't exist because that is when the strength becomes a problem and it starts getting toxic. So the pretense is what kills the man when he's pretending to be strong when he's not.
I like that. The pretense is what kills the man when he's pretending to be strong when he's really not strong.
Correct.
And that pretense is what leads us as men. Because on one of the other shows that my good friend Chris was on,
correct,
we talked about men speaking to their families when they're going through challenges.
Yeah.
And he was of the opinion that you shouldn't. There's certain things you should keep away from your family. But on the flip side, you realize, Chris, that as men, I think many of us men are not totally honest with our families, with our children. Sometimes, and this is one of the things I believe. I believe that every man should be able to tell his children the mistakes that they made.
Absolutely.
If you have made mistakes in life,
yes,
you should tell your children. Let your children know the mistakes you have made.
Let them learn from it.
Right? So they can learn from it. The worst thing that can happen is for your children to repeat your mistakes.
Correct.
And that for me is failure as a father.
So making a mistake is not a problem, but repeating it is the problem.
I say that if a father has not failed until your children repeat your mistakes because you didn't tell them. If you had told them ahead of time, these are the mistakes I made, don't make the same mistake. This is how I got out of it. This is how, if you find yourself in a situation like, because we pass through the trail, but we don't leave clues.
Yeah.
That affects a lot of children, right? So, would you say that it's okay for a father to share his mistakes? And what are the challenges we have with that as Nigerian men or as African men?
Yeah.
You see, first thing first, we should understand a father is a leader.
Okay.
I've not had the back of my mind.
Or he's supposed to be the...
A father is a leader.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Okay.
Even if you go scripturally, when God wanted to come with Christ, he revealed himself to the father first. Joseph, you understand?
Yeah.
This is what I want to do. I want to come. So don't just see your wife as I can have a dominion over her, Abby, as God, as the Alpha and the Omega, Abby. But however, let me engage you. Have you seen? Which means the father is a leader, not supposed, a leader. And in the in the 5 M's of leadership, which I've mentioned before,
Yes.
molding is one.
Yeah.
Mentoring is another thing.
Okay.
Monitoring is another thing.
Okay.
Motivation is when you tell your story before you multiply yourself out. Multiply is the succession part of you.
Okay.
After you have
You
left
leave
your
the
father, after you have left your parent, what are the things they say? Remember in our previous episode, we made mention of the chorus. Abi?
Yeah. Chorus
So,
of your life.
your chorus of your life. You must have passed through some tutelage from them in terms of action. I learned from my father that yes, don't learn to say no. Say yes, but do what you think is right. Because no brings so much questioning, controversies, blah, blah, blah. And I say, why did he say so? He say, have you thought of tortoise? Tortoise never say no. But when anybody want to confront tortoise, he'll keep his shell. And when you're done, Abi, making noise,
bring his head out.
and continue his journey.
Yeah, but is that good leadership?
No. It's
It's
related.
A tortoise is known to be sly. And,
When you say sly in the okay, let me ask if
in certain stories.
yes, if I say no to you,
yeah,
you will give me a reason why we start working on super argument, Abi.
Yes.
But I think listening to you also might shape my thinking.
Yes.
Because you might be right. But I want to be opinionated. I say, no, Abi. But you have an idea that you keep to yourself one day, Abi. So let me say yes. So that by the time you do what you want to do and you got it wrong, Abi, I will now correct you. Now, let me say this.
Well, by that time, it might be too late.
It might not, it won't be too late because you know.
but you got it right already.
You know the direction. But somebody wants to prove to you that he knows certain things too that you don't know. Sometimes my driver say, let's pass here. I'll say, do you think it's the best? Well, you say, sir, let's pass here. You know what I'll say? Let's go. You know why? If something happen when you say they should pass, Abi, you start regretting, Abi.
Yeah.
For satisfy yourself so that when I talk another day, Abi, you will listen to me. It's not all the time we think we know, whereas we don't know.
Okay.
You get it, and that has made a leader not to be too fixated. Leader must learn to be flexible and cerebral.
Okay.
In the sense that you have to look at it that if they know it too much, which means
I may not have a job anymore. Right?
you get it?
So that talks about fear. That a lot of people have.
Yeah, so how do you work that fear? You see, some of us in our offices today, our organizations, our subordinates, they find it difficult to relate with us because they see from the point that the man knows it all. Whereas the man is actually working with yesterday's strategy.
There's something Steve Jobs said. He surrounds himself with people smarter than himself.
himself.
So how do
He can't say he knows it all.
But let's start understanding what Steve Jobs said. Surrounding myself with people that are smarter than I am. How did I know they're actually smarter? You don't understand? Because they are related.
You test them.
No.
So
There's dialogue.
It can be relative. And if you ask some people too, you realize that many people don't even see Steve Jobs' style as
of leadership.
So it has its challenges.
So how do you determine success? Don't you look at the results?
So sometimes results don't tell the full story.
Results don't tell the full story.
So you understand? Because in leadership, right? In leadership, I say that there are 3 types of leaders, basically, right? There are those who are heavy on results, light on relationship. There are those who are heavy on relationship, light on results. And there are those who balance results and relationship.
But are relationships not part of the result?
Not necessarily. So there are people, for example, and it also depends on how the results are defined. Because there are people who achieve the set goal, right? Which could be economic, which could be market share, which could be all of that. But in achieving those goals and being hailed as the fantastic
Who determines
leader,
what the goal is?
They leave dead bodies behind.
Who determines what the goal is?
So it could be board of directors, it could be founder.
Let me even say, achieving my goals can be in a dirty way. I keep saying and then your relationship.
You can
relationship to achieve goals.
Okay, let's look at this. So if you're the president and you're invaded by another country, you have to kill other people. That's not good. That's bad to some people.
That's bad.
That's bad. You have to get the job done.
So at the end of the day,
So
you're going to look at
you see what I'm talking
at the end of
about?
the day, you're going to look at the common good, right?
Absolutely. So you can see that the result varies. There's no one right or wrong.
That's the point.
Exactly.
That we're saying the same thing.
It's always a matter of perspective.
No one right way, right? And the right way could also depend on the season and the time. In the time of scarcity, in the time of war, in the time of peace, there are sometimes different parameters by which you measure success. But now, talking about that, in Nigeria, right? I don't know if you will agree with me that men seem to be constantly in this crucible of pressure, right? And there's this phrase that we use, Chris.
Yeah.
Man up. Oh, why are you crying? Why? Man up, chin up, chest out.
Yeah.
You're a man. You know you're a man. Don't let them see you crying. Right? Men don't cry. You are strong. Now, how does that affect men in the way they process pain and pressure?
Because they listen to society. Now let me, they listen to society to say, man up, don't give up. Understand that you are sinking. I'm sinking, and I'm already leading to commit suicide. And somebody is telling me to man up. Now the question there is this: why not tell yourself the truth, guy? And that's where ego really play a lot of
But why doesn't ego stop them from listening to society?
No, ego stops them, and I'll tell you why ego, because of our context as an African. Let me say, you see, one of the things that has killed us today, I would like, when you brought this topic out, I shared it with some of my colleagues. I said, guys are cashing out with because when this jackpot came up, a lot of people traveled out, they moved to UK, they are suffering, I know. In fact, one of them returned back to this country, rather than coming to stay where we stay, he went to stay in another area because man up. Man up. Now, he started posting on Instagram drinking. That was someone that was not used. And I said, yes, and I said to him, I said, this is frustration. I said, this is frustration. To him, he sees himself as, no, I'm doing well.
Let me try a little social experiment. What mistakes have you made?
In life?
Anywhere, mistake that you would think people would be ashamed to hear.
In fact, there's a major. There's a major that he shared, and he can share.
Reason I'm saying that is it's a social experiment because that's what we're talking about.
Let me hear that one. Maybe I can really you said one. Yes,
you've shared it several times. And the first time I met you was the first time you shared it.
Yeah,
was it personal?
I was surprised.
Yeah, it's personal. Yeah,
and I was surprised that he was that vulnerable, right? And I learned a lot from it, right? It was, his equipment.
Yes,
very expensive equipment sank, and he thought that was the end
of my
life and everything.
That's not personal.
Yeah,
that's business.
No. If you talk about personal,
it touched his personal life.
Let me tell you the personal I want to share with you today is when I was at the verge of being rusticated from university.
That's more like it.
And you know what I did? I picked all the beats. I didn't man up. And I said, it takes a courageous man to die once.
No, you're already sounding good already. So don't say the good part. Say what makes you look weak.
No.
That's the test of strength I'm asking you for.
What
now
makes me look weak was I followed the path of not evaluating.
No, that still makes you look strong. I'll give an example. On this show, I said I'm bipolar. That makes me look weak.
Yeah.
You get. So what makes you look weak? I mean, because already we know in Nigeria there's a big stigma against mental health challenges.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing now is the reality of what this show is about, because there are a lot of young people watching us now, and the example that we set is not by what we say, but by what we practice.
Okay.
So that's why I'm putting you on the spot intentionally to ask, what is it about you that is vulnerable? Because I started by being vulnerable right off the bat.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear that from you yet.
No, but when you say vulnerable, I need to really define the vulnerability. No, because I look at it, what is personal to me, that makes me on the bad side, I try to look at, because I check myself. You know what I'm trying to say is I don't play to the gallery when it comes to anything negative. And I'll say this: if probably I'm a club trotter, socializing, Abby.
Yeah.
There was a time when I was all night at the club. I was attacked by a robber. You understand? You know what I did to myself? I still, no matter what you call me, where I am, I'll tell you 7 o'clock I'm at home. So I check things. So I don't allow things to get to the extreme to teach me that negative lesson before I will quickly do what? Pick my bit and pieces.
So you're perfect.
I'm not saying I'm perfect. Don't I check? I will appraise.
I'm putting him in trouble, huh?
I know. No, I understand where you're going to. But I always say this, that I check myself. You see, what I'm trying to say is I check myself. Even in my children.
Is there any time you haven't checked yourself and you made a mistake?
How?
That's the one I'm interested in.
You're interested that I made a mistake, I didn't check myself. I tried to phantom it out, because when I was even doing a particular business, I stopped, moved away. You understand?
Right.
Correct.
They've had, for example, for me, I've been raised in a way that, so sometimes I even boast to my wife and say, man, you married a good husband, you know.
Yeah.
So somehow I have this, how do I put it? I have this way of looking at life that things, even when we got married and, you know, we had challenges having children. So I thought for the very first year we'll have a child. First year came, second year, third
That's
year, fourth
vulnerable.
year, fifth year, sixth year,
You see what I'm saying? That's vulnerable.
Year, ninth year, 10th year, and it was like, so am I not going to be able to have a child, right?
That's vulnerable.
And typically, that's a challenge in Nigeria.
Correct.
Because once you get married, you're expected to have a child.
Absolutely.
But if I'm your shoe,
In the next,
you know what I'll do? I'm trying to, I'll check myself. I will have adopted.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just talking about my school.
What he's saying, he's being vulnerable. Because he's saying what society will usually stigmatize him about.
Thank you.
Exactly. And he's dealing with it.
Point, it became difficult for us to go for naming ceremonies.
Yeah, the emotional trauma will be there.
Almost every time, sometimes I'm even carrying a baby.
I think I'm getting you.
And helping them name the baby, and
your heart.
I'm like, God, when am I going to name my own
You're
child?
working with your mentor maker. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
And so that's challenging. And I've shared this with my children.
That inspires
I've shared this
me.
with my kids so many times. You know how we went through it and all of that, and it was tough. I mean, my kids are from IVF. So we had to go through fertility treatment. And by grace of God, we've got 3 children now.
Amen.
And I don't want any more.
Yeah.
I'm done.
What you just said now, right? See, what you just said now encourages me to know that no matter how crazy it is, if you can go through it, then I can. That's what I'm talking about.
I've shared this in many fora.
Yeah.
Some people come to me at the end of the year and say, look, you know what? My husband and I are going through this.
Yeah.
How did you overcome?
Yeah.
And then I share, give them the details. They go to the clinic, and then they have their own baby. So that gives me a lot of joy.
Awesome.
And that takes us to our next break. In fact, our first break on the show. After this heated discussion, guys, I can see there's sweat, there's heat coming out. Yeah, but I'm trying to see that where am I with this? You'll be fine. I'll be fine because I know you. You're a very open person.
Yeah.
You have this very positive outlook to life, and even when something looks bad, it seems positive.
See the positive side of it.
Yes. So thank you so much for staying with us. I'm really excited that you're still there. We're going on a short break now. When we come back, we're going to extend the conversation into an area that you would not like to miss. Join us again. Thank you for joining us again. Welcome to our part 2 of this very interesting conversation. And my guests are still with me, Ayodeji and Chris. Thank you so much for staying with us. I want to shoot the next question very quickly to Ayodeji.
All right.
What are some of the practical ways that men can express vulnerability without appearing weak? Because I know that's really the challenge for a lot of men, right? They don't want to feel weak. They don't want to seem weak. They don't want to appear weak to society and to their friends. What are some ways that we can handle that?
Okay, thank you for the question. And I'll be very practical. I use myself as an example.
Yeah.
I have people who I know have been trained, both professionally and with experience, that I can open up to, who know what it is not to judge. Now, even when other people judge, it may not be intentional. But I go to those who have the experience to understand that, look, I need to have a conversation about this just so I can clear my head, so that I don't put the emotion and the tension in the wrong situation. So to find people who are trained and experienced, that's the responsibility for the man himself. Find those people, and not anybody or not everybody can bear that responsibility. So it's unfair to just put it on anybody. Your wife may not even be trained for that. She may require some training, So first find one person. And then for the society, instead of saying, I'd recommend not so much what to do, but what not to do. Don't judge. Yeah, because the reality is, whenever you judge, you're not being self-aware. Because, even the Bible talks about it. You point one finger, the four pointing back at you. So most times when we judge, we're not thinking about ourselves. We're just thinking about those people. But if we stop and think, look, what if that is me? Or have I done things that are worse? We'll calm down, and then everybody will put the stone down and walk away. So always keep in mind, before you go ahead and judge, he who has not sinned, cast the first stone. Absolutely. So that's it for society. Don't judge.
So just as a follow-up question, how do you find those people who are trained?
Self-awareness. I have a psychiatrist. I have a psychologist.
Okay, so you're talking about people.
Absolutely. Look, I'm a business manager. Absolute professionals. I'm a business management consultant. If you're going to bring your business to me to help you grow your business, your mental health, your emotional health is way more important than your business. So why not invest in that? That will drive your business much more than your business. So for every single person that I consult with, I usually encourage them to have somebody they can speak to.
Coach.
Sometimes you need to have, and it's wise that they are trained. It's wise. So my mental health is fantastic because I'm in therapy, consistent, and that's going to be the case for the rest of my life. It's hereditary. So, but if I didn't do that, I'd probably be in a mental institution not knowing what's going on. You see that? So the reality is, look, if you're diabetic, there's a treatment for that. Nigeria, the situation in Nigeria is enough to make you say, you know what, I need a therapist. So either way, you do need one.
So every Nigerian needs a therapist.
Every Nigerian does need one. It's impossible to live in Nigeria for a couple of weeks and not even driving down here. It was. I have an assistant. I always have an assistant with me in the vehicle. I never drive out without somebody in the car. So in Nigeria, there's stress one way or the other. Even if you don't leave. So find a therapist. Get that out. Don't pretend it's not there. So be self-aware that it's there, and then treat it.
So this is instructive, right? Just living in Nigeria, you need a therapist.
You do.
Electricity problem will make you need a therapist, right?
Yes.
Road network,
road rage, all of that.
The horns.
Even the unskilled workers.
I don't do that anymore. I don't interact with the unskilled workers. I have people that have trained, 3 of them, to interact with them, because interaction with them will affect me mentally.
It will.
So I don't deal with that.
Like someone said, that everybody in Nigeria is.
Yes, correct.
Everyone is like, it's just that.
When one person Chris stop.
I heard that. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So Chris, let's talk about the society. I want us to speak to the society now, right? As men, because you go all over the place, you will find programs that address women. You find women's conference somewhere. Even at Christmas, like I said in one of the programs, at Christmas there are programs targeted at widows. Not one for the widowers.
None.
There are widowers who have to take care of 5 children. And they still have to work. They still have to, so how can we make the society
feel the impact of men,
safer place
for the men?
Yeah.
How can we create that sense of psychological safety for men to be vulnerable, for men to be able to say, here's my problem, and even if we go on the religious side, because in Nigeria we're very religious,
we are
godly.
We are. Bingo.
Yeah. I tell you, religiosity
bingo
is one of our major problems.
It is.
Oh, on Sunday we dress very nice. We go to church. On Friday we're wearing our danshikis. We're going to mosque. We pray as many times as we can pray. We fast and speak in tongues and do all of those things. But here's the thing: how much do we support people?
Correct.
When people are having difficulties, how much do we really support? How much do we create that space for them to share? Their deepest concerns. This is one challenge that we have. You speak to society.
I think I pity the men a lot. I'll say it. I pity the men, and I think people see the men on the good side. They don't see them on the challenging side. That because they see them on the good side. Oh, they can afford to marry another woman easily. Women cannot afford to. Oh, when the other woman died, the man can afford to remarry. But they don't see from the part that that man you see there is a struggling man trying to
make ends meet,
fulfill actualization of a man's need. Number 2 is a leader trying to coordinate to ensure things are moving on smoothly. Number 3, he has to create wealth. Yes, to build. So now the society now, especially on the area of the mother side, if it becomes a challenge to a man,
it does.
That if you want to get married today, you see a woman has no, you say no, the man has to do it. And the man say, if I don't do it, I'm a weakling. Have you seen the angle? Whereas
right from the home,
nothing. No, I don't see. It's now as I realizing that wealth belongs to the man, not to. No, it's a lie. Wealth is actually there for somebody that has an idea and ability to create the wealth. It does not tie to maybe gender.
Correct. No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. But in our own context, it has been tied to it. You want to see if you check most of
born syndrome.
Now you check another challenge now. If they want to relocate out of this country, it is the woman that will put pressure on the man that we need to leave.
Oh, this is so true. It's happening that a lot of men wouldn't have left.
Now a man that has a very good job is now doing unprofessional job. He's not. The only thing he's doing over there is trying to put food on the table. But in terms of satisfaction, and the age is going. Time is going. So if you say now that I pity the society, I pity men in the society, and what I have to say to the society is this: treat men like a king. They are king, no matter their status now.
But some people not say you're being chauvinistic.
Like I said, it's related. Like what I'm saying right now, I've been able to mention so many challenges.
But at least we're speaking for men. So let's have our time.
Like now, once I have a debit, once I receive a credit, the next thing that
give credit to him debit.
What I see is debit. When I start seeing that debit, I was either I warned my wife, I said, please stop doing the debit early in the morning because. I wake up and I realize that this is my hard year. It's going to go. These are thinking. Somebody receives, somebody pays out, and it's affecting psychologically. And somebody needs to work to increase that money back to replace it.
And it's usually the man.
And it's telling on you. So if you see some men at the lounge there sitting there, not because they love it. All they just want to do is this.
That's their coping mechanism.
It's coping mechanism.
Thank you.
And a lot of those coping mechanisms are unhealthy.
They're very unhealthy.
They are very unhealthy. And I'm saying when they're out there, you know what they do also? They still spend money.
Correct.
Yes.
And then a man and then the woman at all will say, why are you out there?
Spending money.
You should be home. But undermining that, gosh, let me come
What you just did now, that's the thinking man there. Why is it not the thinking woman?
Why is it not the thinking? Why is it the thinking woman? It's always the thinking man.
Thinking man.
So society should just please help us.
Take it easy.
Right?
Yeah.
Please help us.
Yeah.
Okay. They say men should not cry, man up, chin up, you know, you can handle it. And we just go through things and there's no support mechanism for us. The law is skewed against men, you know. Once there's a suspect, it has to be a man, you know, and all kinds of things. To the extent that if you have a car full of all men, if you drive through a police checkpoint, they'll stop you.
Yeah.
Search the car.
Yeah.
But it is full of all women. Oh, madam,
mentality, yeah.
That's the mentality.
Yeah.
So society needs to help us.
Yeah.
All right. And this is where I think we should just draw
for now.
right now, so that we can all go and check our mental health.
Exactly.
After this conversation, already I feel so much better that we've had this conversation.
I do.
And that a lot of men listening to us, watching us out there, will be able to see that it's not all over, right? There are opportunities for men to speak out, even if no one is willing to listen.
Correct.
Be willing to be vulnerable, right? Find someone to speak to, share your problems, but please make sure that person is a qualified therapist, a coach, who can help you, a psychologist, psychiatrist. Make sure it's someone who is trained for the job, right? If you have a heart problem, you want to see a cardiologist, right? Not a mechanic. You get what I mean? No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with mechanic, but you want to find and if you have a car problem, you're not going to see a cardiologist, right?
There you go.
You're going to see a cardiologist, a mechanic. So it's very important that we seek out trained people who you will not judge you and who will provide you with the tools with which you can overcome any of those challenges. Mental health is real, and it's something that we all should embrace and feel comfortable talking about. And that's the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you've been able to learn one or two things. Please go out there and be the man that you should be. Thank you for joining us. This has been a deeply necessary conversation. We've learned that manning up shouldn't mean shutting down. True strength is found in the courage to be honest about our challenges and the wisdom to seek support before the pressure becomes a crisis. A very big thank you to our guests today, Mr. Chris Ogbaisi and Ayodeji Falope, for their vulnerability and for showing us that a man's health and emotional well-being are his greatest business assets. To our viewers, discipline, as always, is the foundation of every great decision. Stay focused, stay grounded, and keep striving to be the best version of yourself. Don't forget to follow us at Achievemen Channel across all our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube, for more inspiring conversations and transformational stories. But remember, keep seeing possibilities in everything that you do. Join us again next time.
Keep on watching Achievemen Channel. You guys are doing a great job.
Oh, Achievemen Channel is the best. Achievemen Channel is the best.